Hello everyone. Uh, Hello everyone. Today I'm going to present and intro the Nemo data code Habet in law. So this presentation is made by Ammar, Khalid, and Hannah. Next, what is the Nemo data code Habet in law? So that's mean that no one can give you a better title than he himself processes. So thus, if the goods are purchased from a person who is not the owner and who doesn't sell them under the owner's authority, and the buyer doesn't acquire a title even if he has paid a value in good faith. Next, we have estoppel. Actually, estoppel is a large principle that prevents someone from arranging something or asserting a right that what they previously said or agreed by the law. And here we have exceptions to the Nimudat Code non-Hobbit, and these exceptions protect the rights of a purchaser who has acquired a good in a goods but within the meanings of the section 3 of the Goods Act at 1958 and without knowing of the rights of the original owner. So this is the end of my part. Now I'm going to pass the presentation to our presenter. Thank you for listening.
Okay, now moving to the other exception, which is sale by one joint owners. So for this exception, sale by joint owners, which is not under the English common law, Section 28 of the Malaysian Sale of Goods Act 1957 states that if one of several joint owners of goods has the sole possession of them by permission of the co-owners, the property in goods is transferred to any person who buys them of such joint owner in good faith and has not at 3 times of the contract of sale noticed that the seller has no authority to sell. So thus, there are 3 requirements for transfer of title from the sale effected by one or several owners, in that the property are jointly owned by 2 or more persons at law. The possession of the property was entrusted to one or more parties in a joint ownership with permission from all the owners. 3, seller of the property has no authority to sell. And the last one is buyer purchased the joint property in good faith and without notice of the seller's lack of authority to sell. So to make that even more clear, we can give an example. Let's say if Mary, Sally, and Anne are the joint owners of a piano, for example, in that they had bought the piano together, and it was then agreed that the piano should reside in Anne's house, which is one of the 3 parties. So Kent, with the 3 of them using the piano at any time for musical and rehearsal purpose. Suppose that Anne, without permission from Mary and Sally, the other 2 participants, had thence sold off the piano to Martin. It follows that, notwithstanding the approval to sell, Martin has now acquired good title to the piano if he has been bona fide and without knowledge of Anne's lack of authority to sell. So Mary and Sally have no recourse in law against Martin, but can sue Anne, among others, for the tort of convention therein. Okay, so the next exception is sale by seller in possession after sale. Um, so, according to section 30, where a person having sold goods continues or is in possession of the goods or of the documents of title to the goods, the delivery or transfer by that person or by mercantile agent acting for him of the goods or documents of title under any sale, pledge or other disposition thereof to any person receiving the same in good faith, and without notice of the previous sale, shall have the same effect as if the person um, making the delivery to transfer were expressly authorized by the owner of the goods to make the same. So, in other words, um, if the seller resells to a second buyer the goods sold by him previously to the first buyer, the second buyer will obtain good title to the goods if he has received the goods in good faith and without notice of the previous sale. The first buyer will lose the title, but he can take legal action against the seller. And here is an example. Let's say a car dealer entered into a display agreement with Motor Credit. Under the agreement, car bought by the dealer were sold to the finance company for 90% purchase price. The car dealer retained possession for display purpose. When the dealer got into financial difficulty, the finance company uh, canceled this agreement with him. The same day as its 30 was withdrawn, the dealer sold all his stock to Pacific Motor Auction. So Pacific Motor Auctions was unaware of the withdrawal of the car dealer's authority, and the car dealer signed a declaration uh, stating that all of its stock was unencumbered and was its sole property. So it was held that Pacific Motor Auction had title to the cars as they had bought them in good faith and without notice of the sale from the seller who had continued in possession of that goods after sale.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Khalid Rahman Ali, and tonight I'm gonna record two subtitles or two titles. One of them is sale under affordable title, and the other one is sale by a buyer in a position. So first I'm gonna give the general idea what these two titles are talking about or the importance of them. At the same time, I'm gonna explain them while I am giving them examples, like two examples or one example each of them. So also I'm gonna share my slides here. So I hope you will all understand. So let's begin. So first I'm gonna share my slides. So wait. So yeah, the first one is sale under affordable title. So when the seller of goods obtains possession of the goods under a contract voidable under Section 19 or 20 of the Contracts Act 1950, still the contract is not rescinded at the time of the sale. The buyer acquires a good title to the goods if he buys them in a good faith. Provided a seller resells items previously sold to a first customer to a second buyer, the second buyer will get a good title to the thing if he receives them in good faith without knowledge of the previous sale. So this one covers, or the general idea is like when a buyer is trying to sell goods, the buyer have to give a title if he get the goods in a good faith. So even when it goes through two buyers, the last buyer will gonna give the goods in a good title. If he doesn't know the first buyer. So one of example, I'm gonna give one example. So one example is The Court of the King's Bench in England concluded in 1973 that Barker faced Patrick in a case with one of the most interesting facts in law. Patrick was tricked into selling and delivered the merchandise. The commodities were bounded with Barker by the con artist who acted in a non-criminal manner. Barker's belongings were taken by Patrick. So Barker was found to be entitled to the items in the subsequent case. So this one is the first one. The next one is sale by a buyer in possession or in a position. So when a person having bought or agreed to buy goods obtains with the consent with a consent of the seller's possession of the goods or the documents of the title to the goods, the delivery or transfer by that person or mercantile agent acting from him or for him the goods or documents of title under any sale. If buyer having brought or agreed to buy goods obtains possession of the goods or the document of the title with consent of the seller, he can pass a good title to subsequent buyer acting in a good faith, even if under the first transaction has not obtained a good title. So this one is comes along the first one. It's all about giving the goods a title. One example of this sale by a buyer in possession is three companies, Force International in UK, Silver Shipping Company, and Petro Globe International. So Forsyth supplied oil to Silver Shipping, who chartered the vessel from Petro Globe, who were her owner under a charter party. So Petro Globe brought the oil on board without notice from Forsyth. When Forsyth brought an action against Petro Globe, it was given in their favor. The delivery of goods to Petro Globe was not voluntary, since it was about the termination of the charter party, not the voluntary delivery of Silver Shipping. So that is my recording. It covers these two titles that I present before. So I hope you all gonna understand. So if you want to know more knowledge, or if you want to know more, you can find the two series or the two subtitles in the internet, in the Google. So I hope you all understand. So stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.